right, guys, welcome to the first episode of Laces Out Podcast of this season. Of course, my hosts are J Bunk and Water Boys. Welcome back, fellas.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. Thanks for having us. Glad to be back.
Of course, man. I'm ready for some fantasy football this season. We're going to do kind of just a quick episode this time, kind of introducing, everything, what we do, and a little bit of fun predictions. Let's go ahead and straight get into what we usually do, which is before I do that, let's do some draft tips because drafts are still not over. And I know there's a few guys out there still doing drafts this weekend. So, is there any tips you guys want to provide to our viewers going into this weekend? Having already done one auction draft, I know everyone, at least in this call, has done a auction draft. I got another draft coming up on Tuesday. I'm getting ready for. So, what are your tips? Snake draft, auction draft, it can be whatever it is. J Bunk, I'll let you lead the way, man.
So having just done an auction draft, one of my tips I think would be to balance out your team. The team that I created is a little top heavy. I think if I had to do over, I would look for a lot of value, because the wide receiver position specifically this year is incredibly deep. So you don't necessarily have to go after, the high-end guys to get good production. Like Justin Jefferson, Ridley, CeeDee Lamb, some of those really top-tier guys are going a lot cheaper than your Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and targeting those guys will allow you to fill out your roster better. Being the owner of Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams myself and having to pay up, you get thin in other places such as running back. So I would spread out my wealth in an auction draft and try to build a more balanced roster rather than being so top heavy. And then if I'm in a snake draft, first pick, depending on where you're at in the order, I'm trying to grab a top end running back off the rip, and then depending on where you fall back at, I'm probably going a top end wide receiver on my second pick, and then just start filling out my roster from there. What about you, Jordan? What you got?
Oh, man, and if you can do a snake draft, I would go against the grain on something, and it's something I wanted to try last year, and I never done. If you had the opportunity, middle to back end of round one on a snake, is grab Kelsey and Waller. Just snab the top of the best in that tight end and separate yourself out. And then you can go with, kind of mix in with a zero running back, if you will, if you grab the two tight ends and get the cream of the crop there. And then, like you said, there's so many receivers, so you can pick and choose from there. I just think it'd be a different strategy to try and see how it works. I believe it would hold good for you through the course of a season in a snake draft. And in an auction draft, I'm middle of the road. I don't like a top heavy because there's so many injuries. Kind of balance your team out with some solid plays and just play for a solid game. And hopefully you can get a pretty upside player in your mix in an auction draft. Yeah. Not all complete scrubs. And, I'm always a fan of a good lotto ticket in the end. Really pay attention to some of your rookies and players that have been traded, new positions, new depth charts kind of deal. And, some of your other league mates might have skipped over it and forgot about someone that's been traded over.
I agree. I'll add on to the auction draft since, that's kind of our most experience as of now for at least this season. For me, it has been get your deals at the end of the draft. I mean, if you spend all your money, you're sitting there watching deals go by at the very end. And obviously, it might not be the deals that you want. I got stuck with Deontay Johnson, and I'm fine with that because it was a $9, getting stuck with him. So that's one of those things that's like, you're going to get deals at the end as long as you have a little bit of money, a little bit more cash left over. But also, don't be afraid to go and get your running backs early, because that's who's going to go off the board first. I mean, everyone's going to try to get the money off the board, the big running backs to get off. So a lot of times I like to watch just to see how big the inflation is. Like, is it too much? Is it like, in our draft we had Aaron Jones and a $200 limit go for $80, and that inflation is just crazy. Eventually it's got to balance out, so you kind of got to wait for that balance to come back, and then that's when you want to hop on. So don't get caught just saying I have to have this guy and then overpaying something like $80 in a $200. You can't do that, because then you'll be sitting basically with your hands in your pocket for the rest of the draft. But other than that, going back to the snake drafts, I haven't done one yet. Like I said, I'm doing one Tuesday here soon. It all depends on positioning. I would say do your mocks if you know your spots. So like I said, I don't even know my spot for Tuesday. So going in blind, all I'm going to do is make sure you get the running backs. You definitely don't have enough. I do like Waterboy's take on the tight end, because you are going against the grain, but you are also getting a big edge every single week on your opponents if you have the top 2 tight ends. So that's another good strategy. But that's
you can
really
play one in the flex. I really think it'd be a strategy to see. And I mean, you could go with Kettle, but something along those lines. I mean, you're taking the cream of the cream, and you're setting yourself apart easily in 2 positions that are playing like receivers.
I agree. And other than that, that was our draft tips. Any other questions, you guys can leave comments on YouTube, and if you're rewatching this on Twitch, obviously you can DM us. But let's go. We usually call it boom or bust during the week, but since this is technically not week 1, we're gonna call this our underrated, overrated players. So I'm gonna let you guys go do your first underrated, overrated. Just start with whatever you want, man. Underrated. Obviously, the guys who you don't really think who get enough attention, who just kind of flying under that radar, and then obviously overrated. People are talking too much about this guy, and you just think the value's not there. The face value is just not right. Waterboys, you want to start us off?
Somebody that's overvalued.
Overvalued or undervalued?
We
will do a little rotation.
On the rotation, I'm going to say, we were talking about this before we got on here. I'm really high on Jamal Williams with the Lions this year. I think he's big undervalued. We was talking about it. Swift all preseason been out, soft tissue injuries, no practice reps. You look back, they got Lynn. He's the offensive coordinator in Detroit now. Loves throwing out of the backfield. And I seen Williams actually has the highest catch percentage of any running back of thrown targets over the past 2 seasons. So he catches well. They love to throw to him. People's big on Swift. Don't know why, injured in college, injured last year, injured the preseason. And they're really talking Jamal the wrecking ball up big time in Detroit. Now, the offense might not be a lot, but, you're looking for points and receptions the biggest way to the top in a PPR league or half point. Either way.
I'm gonna add on that. I think DeAndre Swift, I think you're right. I think he's getting talked about a lot, and people are grabbing him a little bit earlier than where like the ADP should be. Because DeAndre Swift has definitely got talent, but you got to remember on the squad he's on. Like, he's not on a high-powered offense team. If he was, he would be the man, but he's not. And also, like you said, dealing with those tissue injuries, that's kind of playing with fire. Very risky of a draft pick, but I wouldn't mind them having him in the flex as long as you have another decent option on your bench.
Yeah. I agree. As long as you have something to play there, but that'd be a good one. And on the overvalued, man, because you don't know, they say he's going to play. I'd still be a little bit nervous about Saquon in New York. Not really a good offense. Again, not sure if he's been practicing. Is he going to play? But spending an early first-round pick on him, that's getting costly.
Do you have an underrated player?
No, that was the Jamal Williams. He's the underrated.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Yeah. And I'm saying
I do like that.
Barkley's going to be the overrated. I mean, just as early as he's going, and now would he slip to you in round 2? I don't know. I highly doubt it, but let somebody else deal with that headache, you know?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't. There's no way he would slip to round 2, in my opinion. But
No,
like,
I don't think so. What do you? I mean, last Mr. Bunk, you know, he's played with him before. You know, you think he's going to come back strong this year?
I will say I've seen him slipping into the second round, and I mean, if you get him in the second round, that's not that may be worth the risk. If he does come back healthier and stronger than ever, and rips off, you know, a season like his rookie season, then yeah, you end up with great value in the second round. But I agree with you. I wouldn't take him in the first round. Too many question marks. Terrible O line. Terrible offense in general. And obviously coming back from the injury, you don't know. So
yeah, I haven't looked at his
just
ADP.
don't go spend $86 on him in an auction draft. That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't even spend the front end of a first round pick on him. Go get Kelsey. You know, better pick there.
100% on that. I mean, Kelsey's definitely the top tier for tight end, and it's not even close. I mean, you know, you got Waller probably at 2 and Kittle up there as well, but Kelsey just shines on that. But underrated, overrated, Bunk, do you have your guys?
Yes, sir. My underrated pick. You see, I got the Panthers hat on.
I like it.
I'm gonna go with a homer pick. Sam Darnold.
Oh, snap.
Come on.
I think people are sleeping on Sam Darnold, man. He's out of Adam Gase's prison in New York. He's got, you know, an up and coming offense, a bunch of young receivers, Christian McCaffrey, a better running back than he's ever had, an up tempo offense that Joe Brady's got that I think is gonna really play to his skill set. I think people are sleeping on him, man. I think the change of scenery is going to be really good for him. I'm not saying he's going to be the MVP or anything stupid, but you know, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. I see him winning the comeback player of the year award. I really think he's gonna have a good season and lead the Panthers, you know, with our other weapons, to a better record than what people think.
I agree.
And then my overrated player is Mr. Ezekiel Elliott. I think, much like Saquon, I think there's a lot of questions in Dallas. You know, Dak coming back from an injury. He's already got injured again during preseason. You know, who knows? If he goes out again, we already saw what Zeke is without Dak in that wide open offense. It's stack the box and get 2 yards and carry. I mean, you know, there's just no firepower when Dak's not in that offense. So, you know, Will Greer's the backup. You know, we've seen what he can do in Carolina, which isn't much. So, yeah, I think Zeke's overrated. He's going like top 3 to 5 pick. I don't see it. Too many question marks. You know, they say the offensive line is healthy and coming back, but, you know, is it? And then even if it is, if Dak goes out again, I'm not feeling Zeke. I don't think he lives up to the top end first round pick. What do you guys think?
I mean, Zeke's gonna be Zeke. I think Dak's opening up that offense as long as he stays healthy, like you're saying. I think if he stays healthy, it'll open up, you know, between the tackles. I think they can't stack the box. So I think he has good opportunity. I don't know if we're gonna see the same Zeke that we have, but I don't know on him. I'm gonna keep him as properly rated, in my opinion. But I do like the Sam Darnold pick on the underrated, not just because I'm a homer. I will say I was showing my all my PSA cards of him that I picked up over this off season. I am ready for. I mean, he can't get any worse what he was on the Jets. So like, I think that's a pretty safe play. I think it is.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's going to be MVP. I'm saying he's under. I think he's flying under the radar though. I do like that.
Good pick. Well, who are you thinking? Who's your over and undervalued?
Well, Dorton, Mr. Waterboy, I think you're going to like my underrated because this is coming down to the Kansas City Chiefs, which is the Waterboy's team. This is Mr. Mecole Hardman. I really think he has a really big opportunity this year in Kansas City. Being the wide receiver too, Sammy Watkins is not there anymore. And you obviously got, the best quarterback in the league being Patrick Mahomes slinging the rock. And, Hardman is not, maybe not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he's up there. He's pretty quick. And I know he's not the maybe the best route runner. And, he's still kind of working on his routes and everything. But he's, it's not like he hasn't been playing receiver. He's already played it, over a season. I think he's ready. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities being the wide receiver too, since a lot of people are going to have to double team Mr. Tyreek Hill. What do you think on that, Mr. Waterboy? What do you think? You think Hardman is the real deal?
Well, I don't think he's bad. I think he's a good player, like you said. He's lacking a little bit on his route running. I mean, if I could throw something at you there for a little undervalued on the Chiefs, let's look at Mr. Pringle, the number 3 receiver, a little better route runner here lately. So
Right.
He might be somebody everybody's sleeping on. They're going to be high on Hardman and slide in there with Pringle. But Hardman's a good, solid play. I mean, but there's so much on that offense. Sometimes it's he's going to definitely have some big splash weeks where he's going to get you over 100 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns on a long play or two. So there's a lot to go around there. He's tough in a PPR league. I don't know. I'd maybe see him as more of a value in a standard league or more of as undervalued in a standard league maybe.
I agree. I'm trying to find my overrated, but I mean, I think we could go. I think that, really, I hate to do this to myself because he's on my team right now. He's on both of my teams I drafted. But looking at the setting, the way he's at, is Joe Mixon. I think he's overrated just between ADP. I don't think he's gonna have a bad season. Okay, so let's get this right. Like, I still think he's gonna be a good running back, but from where he's going, there's nothing that really shows me that he's gonna be the top guy. Like, he's not gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be a number, RB1 or anything. I don't think anyone was expecting that. But Joe Mixon is the type of guy, he has to have the opportunities. They don't have any running game, or they don't have any, offensive linemen. They didn't pick any up on the offseason. You thought he was going to, and it just doesn't look good. I don't know, man. I really hope I'm wrong on that, on the overrated, but I'm going to go with Joe Mixon, and hopefully I am wrong on that. So... What do you think, though? Because Waterboy was also an owner of Joe Mixon in the past.
I'm like a bad girlfriend. I'm done. You have him, love him. He's not undervalued. He's not overvalued. I've had the man. We've kissed. We've made up, and I've burnt again and again. And I'm like, hey, y'all enjoy the dance together. But no, he should do pretty good. But I think he is a little overvalued, but man alive, yeah. It makes me want to cry thinking about it.
I wanted to do this before we go into Super Bowl predictions. What do you guys think, since we're talking about the Bengals, let's just go straight into it. Who is the wide receiver 1 out of that team? For me, I'm going to go with Higgins. I just think this is his year. You got Jamar Chase. He's going to come in. He's rookie. I think Jamar Chase might have a big year. Usually it's the second year when they blow up. But Higgins was definitely my guy for the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree with T. Higgins. I'm not a big fan of Chase right now.
You still
And that
got
offense,
Tyler Boyd as well.
yeah, Boyd, he's a good play. He's a good play, and you got Mixon, but I'm not really high on the Bengals at all this year. But Higgins would be a good play if I wanted to play somebody from the Bengals.
Bunk.
Yeah, I agree. I think people were sleeping on Boyd though. I mean, like a couple seasons ago, when I picked him up off of waivers, and that's when that was like his coming out party. And AJ Green's gone now. I know all the talk and hype is around Higgins, but Boyd, man, I think he's that consistent, high floor guy. Like I think he's going to get you. Higgins is probably the upside play, but I think Boyd is a safe play to plug in flex or wide receiver 2, 3. Like I think he's got a high floor, and he's not going to disappoint you many weeks. I don't think.
Higgins is definitely the maybe touchdown dependent. Tyler Boyd, I feel like, is a PPR machine. He's going to be the guy where, Joe Burrow's just trying to get a quick slant go out, and that's going to be Tyler Boyd. He's going to get his, like you said, high floor. I agree. I do like that. I just think Higgins is going to be, I mean, this is his second year, correct?
Yeah.
For Higgins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and those second year receivers usually pop off, and if we talk about second year receivers, we can go on to Jacksonville, because I think Laviska Shenault could be that guy over there for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And usually you look back, DJ Chark was the guy. I don't think so this year.
I'll agree to that. I think the Jaguars offense might surprise a lot of people. They're definitely not going to be high powered, but I think they should definitely have something to keep a few people honest,
Yeah.
As far as what they're bringing to the table. I mean, Jones, a great veteran leader. You got Robinson, not a lot in the backfield with only him and Hyde, but I think and look, they're playing in the AFC South. I mean, I see second place in their future.
Yeah. I think there's also two other teams that I want to kind of do that on, and that's going to be the Steelers. It will be the first one. What do you guys think will be the number one receiver on that team?
I mean, I look at Pittsburgh. I think it's Claypool. I mean, I think he's the most talented receiver they got. I know a lot of talk's been about Johnson, but I mean, Claypool, we saw his explosiveness last year. I mean, talented route runner, just breakaway speed. I think he's just going to be a reliable target, big-bodied, Yeah, I like him. And to piggyback off of Pittsburgh, my bust was, or my my overrated player was almost Najee Harris. Rookie running backs scare me, man. He's going really high, and their strength of schedule against the rush is one of the toughest in the league this year. So, be interested to see how he fares against NFL competition.
Yeah, I agree to that. It's he's good, no doubt, but with the line, the quarterback play, and his schedule, that's he's going to have a tough hill, or definitely an uphill battle all season to prove out to be a stud like they claim he is.
Yeah, I agree with Bunk too. It's like, I don't know if it's just me, but I always get a little nervous about rookie running backs. Even when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was, the rookie, soon-to-be stud for the Chiefs. And I was like, I know he's on like a high-powered offense, but I just don't know. I mean, with rookie running backs, you never know how they're gonna, react with NFL gameplay. It's a whole different. I mean, you can name a number of people who just hop into the NFL and just, they're not what they thought they were gonna be, and that's why I get nervous. I like to give usually rookie running backs a year, and kind of the same way with the rookie wide receivers as well. Give it a year, and then that's whenever I go jump into in conclusion, basically saying, okay, second year wide receivers, I love it. Second year running backs, I love it. So one more on the wide receivers for teams that kind of like no one really knows who the wide receiver one is. Let's do the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about it. CD Lamb, Michael Gallup, or Amari Cooper. Who's it going to be?
Mr. Bump?
I think Dallas is a lot like I was talking about with Cincinnati. I think Amari Cooper is your safe, high floor, get you the first downs, consistent route runner. I mean, probably one of the best route runners in the league. Get separation. He's going to be your target, your high target guy. But I think CD Lamb is your upside play. Is going to put up those big games, like we were talking about, 100 yards, couple touchdowns. But I mean, you throw Gallup in the mix. I mean, he's probably still in the flex consideration. He's probably going to just a couple. It's a lot of spreading the ball around. So, there's only one football, so that's a lot to spread around by the time you add in Zeke's touches and all that stuff. But yeah, I would say Amari 1A, CD 1B, probably in my book.
Yeah, I mean, Amari's definitely got that route running specialist for himself. I mean, I've seen this dude run routes just in training camp, and I know it's just training camp and preseason and stuff, but he still has not looked bad when it comes to, and everyone knows what he can do. He's just one of those fantasy scares, especially with CD in the mix. And I feel like CD is about to have a Calvin Ridley year with whenever Calvin Ridley was with Julio. I think CD is going to be the guy for Dallas just because, I feel like the number one corner will be shadowing Amari Cooper. I mean, it's just simple as that. He's been in the league longer. He's definitely an elite wide receiver. I know some people just laughed at that when I said that, but it's true. I mean, I have to give credit when credit's due. He's a great route runner. But CD, I think, is going to take over this year and is going to be, like I said, a Calvin Ridley V2 on our hands in Dallas. What do you think, Waterboy?
I'm high on Lamb like the other people. I think hopefully this will be the changing of the guard, man, for them. He's moving into the slot this year, so I see him putting up big numbers. He's going to outpace. Now, Cooper's still going to be good. This might be the case, where we get like a Seattle-style Metcalf Lockett deal where sometimes Lamb's going to be the Lockett. He's going to give you 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. This next week, you're going to get 14 yards, and you're going to, go home and kick the dog. But I think it's going to be one of them. You're going to end up with a couple number one receivers at the end of the year on this offense. And Lamb will have more of your big weeks, and Cooper will be your, baseline play, like you said.
Yeah, I like that comparison with Seattle with Lockett and DK because, I mean, that's another two guys that are on the team who are just dominant, and both of them can be started on your fantasy football team. So I do like that comparison.
You play either one and not be mad about them.
Exactly. Anything you guys want to touch up on before we call it our first show?
Oh, man, just everybody, have a good time, enjoy yourself, build some bonds, enjoy yourself, drink some cool drinks, and hopefully you win more than you lose.
I like that. I like that advice. Bunk, any thing to sign before you sign off?
You want to do our Super Bowl predictions?
Oh, thank you. Let's do that. Super Bowl predictions of this season. I'm going to go ahead and start. I've been thinking about this, and it's still not like 100% in my head. I'll probably change it 10 times before week one even starts. But I'm going to go with the Browns out of the AFC. And then NFC, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. And then to win it all, I'm going to say the Browns will take it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yep.
Baker
Very bold prediction, but
season,
I really think if the Browns keep the ball on the ground this season, I really think they have the best shot. I mean, I think we'll see it week one. I really think the Chiefs have a tough opponent week one with the Browns.
Yeah, but I mean that's a tough division they're in. But so the
I agree.
Browns from the AFC. I mean it's ballsy. I like it. I'll give you that. Mm.
Are you going with your Chiefs? You got to go with your Chiefs, right?
They're not a bad play. I mean they're solid. I mean, and you know the Browns played them tough last year. I think the Bills will be maybe coming out of the AFC this year.
I like
I'm
that
gonna
pick.
I'm gonna go back. You know to back was it the early '90s? I'm gonna see the Bills AFC and the Cowboys on the NFC.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay. You made some Cowboy fans just get hard
cream their
just
pants.
because of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm standing up, their chest bumping whoever's near them.
I mean, I like it. I like it. I mean, they definitely got the offense. I think if the Cowboys are going to go for the Super Bowl, it just comes down to their defense. They got the linebackers, but I don't know, man. They haven't shown it yet. So maybe this year they will prove to us that they actually have a decent defense.
Well, they got a good favorable schedule this year, so that's gonna play into their hand.
All right, Bunk, let's hear it.
Well, the safe play in me wants to say that the Chiefs and Bucks are going to run it back, but I want to go a little against the grid. I'm going to say Bills out of the AFC and Packers out of the NFC.
Okay.
And I think Josh Allen's going to take it to the top this year.
And so the Bills will win the whole thing?
Yep.
You heard it here first, guys.
We got two Bills and one Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, I liked saying, well, I didn't say the Packers are going to win it.
I
had the Browns winning it, but I do
that's
think
right. You did have the Browns. So everybody's the AFC's going to win it this year.
AFC's winning it, man, compared to our predictions. But I mean, I think the Packers, man, I really think that the Cinderella story, where it's Rodgers basically last year in Green Bay. I mean, I think he's going to go balls to the wall with this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, as long as people can stay healthy, and that's been a problem with Green Bay, I think that just could be. It would be a great way to go out of Green Bay for Aaron, and I'd like to see it. At least him get to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, I think as much as last season was a kind of prove people wrong. I mean, especially now after this offseason, he's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean, I think he is gonna come out slinging the ball.
Is he going back-to-back MVPs, Bunk?
It's very possible. I would say he's probably my favorite to win the MVP. I mean, they're doing this whole The Last Dance thing. I mean, I think he is going to just come out and dominate. Last year, you could just tell he was like a step ahead of the defense. Just, some of his reads just blow my mind. And, Devontae Adams being at the top of his game, I mean, that's the perfect storm. Aaron Jones has came out, the last couple of years and just come on strong. So they got a strong running game.
Another sneaky pick that I was thinking of the NFC, and I told you this earlier, Bunk, is the Rams. I think Sean McVay teaming up with Matt Stafford is going to be pretty big. I mean, you got Cooper Kupp still and Robert Woods, and sadly Cam Akers went down early in the preseason. Sadly, but you still got Sony Michel there now, and Darrell Henderson's ready to take the reins. So I really think that offense with Sean McVay calling the plays, I mean, I think that could be a deadly team as well, especially with their defense. You got Ramsey and Aaron Donald, so nothing to shy away from that.
Absolutely. I mean, that defense is going to be keeping other offenses off the field, and with a more competent quarterback, than they've had in the past. I agree. That's going to be a good team.
Well, good. We didn't have any jokes saying the Patriots were going to get far and stuff. That's good.
I mean, they're going to get farther than if they would have had number one at their quarterback.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, don't stab y'all's boy in the back like that, bro. Good Lord.
Oh, man.
Oh man. Well, guys, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap it up here on episode 1 of Laces Out Podcast. We'll see you guys next week for technically week 1, the start of the NFL season. I cannot wait. And that's gonna be it. Thank you for joining us, J Bunk and Waterboy. Signing out, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Good luck, everybody.